Anu, have all come, Anu?
Ma'am?
All the participants have they come, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Like Revati, Mahalakshmi.
Yes, ma'am.
All are here, huh?
Ma'am, Abhi and Soundari is not there.
Soundari, alert them.
Yes, ma'am.
Alert them.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we start, ma'am?
Ma'am, shall we start?
I'm okay whenever you want, ma'am.
Deepalakshmi ma'am, is it okay for you, ma'am? Can we wait for 2 more minutes, ma'am?
Yeah, we can wait, ma'am. No problem.
Okay. Thank you. Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, we can. Whenever you're ready.
Mahalakshmi, we'll start, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We'll start. Good evening and warm welcome. Thank you all for joining us for today's club conducted by our Health Club in association with IIC. Let me introduce myself. I'm BB Mahalakshmi from 3rd BSc Biochemistry. Today we have innovation to create a healthy and sustainable food system. Now, let's begin the session with Tamil Taivarthu by Revati.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிறமடந்த கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ் பரத கண்டமெது தெக்கணமும் அது சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே.
I would like to invite Dr. P. Jasmine Nina, Head, Department of Biochemistry, to address the gathering.
Good evening, everybody. Food systems encompass the entire range of factors and their interlinked value-adding activities involved in the production, aggregation, processing, distribution, consumption, and disposal of food products that originate from agriculture, forestry, or fisheries, and parts of the broader economic, societal, and natural environments in which they are embedded. So the food system is composed of subsystems, example, farming system, waste management system, input supply system, etc., and interacts with other key systems, example, energy system, trade system, and health system. Therefore, a structural change in the food system might originate from a change in another system. For example, a policy promoting more biofuel in the energy system will have a significant impact on the food system. A sustainable food system is a food system that delivers food security and nutrition for all in such a way that the economic, societal, and environmental basis to generate food security and nutrition for future generations. This means that it is profitable throughout economic sustainability. It has broad-based benefits sustainability, and it has a positive or neutral impact on the natural environment, environmental sustainability. In sustainable food system, sustainability is examined holistically. In order to be sustainable, the development of the food system needs to generate positive value along 3 dimensions simultaneously: economic, social, and environmental. In the present scenario, to know more about this, we have amidst us Mrs. Deepalakshmi Sriram to present on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction, ma'am. One second, let me just share my screen.
One second, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we have Taslima Mohammed from 3rd BSc Biochemistry to give the welcome address.
Look at the sunset and smile. Look at the horizon and smile. Enjoy this beautiful evening today and have a nice day. Happy evening wishes to you all. On behalf of the Department of Biochemistry, I deem it my privilege to welcome you all. This webinar on innovation to create a healthy and sustainable food system. Innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not a threat. I feel immense pleasure in welcoming our Honorable Founder and Chairman, Dr. K. Vasudevan in absentia, who has been the backbone of many such successful events that have been organized in our premises. I extended my warm welcome to Vice Chairman, Dr. V. Vishnu Karthik, for his ever support returned to us. I welcome our Vice Chairman, Engineer V. Prasanna Venkatesh, young, dynamic, and vibrant leader whose presence motivates positive vibes among us. I extended a heartfelt welcomes our beloved principal, Dr. M. Uma, who is known for their diligence and dedication. Next, I welcome our coordinator of Health Club, Dr. P. Jasmine Lena, who motivates students and act as an energy source of us. I am glad to welcome and introduce our resource person, Mrs. Deepa Lakshmi Sriram, pediatric neonatal nutritionist, trial trained, Sri Balaji Medical College and Hospital. We feel proud to have such an eminent personality among us today. Now, I welcome all the faculties and students of Department of Biochemistry who have gathered here and to be a part of this happening. And again, I welcome one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Taslima. I now request our faculty IIC coordinator, Ms. S. Anupriya, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry, to share the aims and objectives of IIC.
Good evening to all. Let me begin with the quotes of scientist Albert Einstein. Creativity is seeing what others see and thinking what no one else ever thought. So let's start. The objectives of MIC is to inspire, encourage, and nurture youth by encouraging them to instill new ideas and transmogrify into prototypes during their formative years. MIC encourages creation of Institutions Innovation Council across selected higher education institutions. A network of these IICs is established to promote innovation in the institutions through various modes, leading to promotion of an innovation ecosystem in the campus. IIC is a faculty expert student council which initiates multiple activities to promote innovation and entrepreneurship throughout the entire year. IIC's main objective is to drop the students with skills like critical thinking, creative problem solving, innovative thought process, and entrepreneurial mindset. To continue with the functions, IIC plans to conduct various innovation and entrepreneurship related activities prescribed by Central MIC in time-bound fashion, recognize reward innovations and share success stories, to organize periodic workshops, seminars, interactions with various entrepreneurs, investors, professionals, and create a mentor pool for student innovators, to create a network with fellow national entrepreneurship development organizations, to create an institution's innovation, to highlight innovative projects carried out by the faculty and students of the institutions, to organize hackathons, idea-based competitions, mini challenges as a joint venture with the industries. Percentage-based IIC activities given, MSc-driven activities 20%, self-driven activities 30%, IIC annual calendar activities 50%. Major focus of IIC to create a vibrant local innovation ecosystem, to encourage startup or entrepreneurship, to develop institutions for anti-ranking of institutions on innovations achievements framework, to establish function ecosystem for search ideas and pre-incubation of ideas, induce better cognitive ability amongst technology students. Main benefits to institute faculty and students. Students and faculty associated with IIC will get exclusive opportunity to participate in various innovation related initiatives and competitions that are organized by Ministry of Human Resource and Development. It comes under Ministry of Education. Win exciting rewards every month, have interactions with renowned business leaders and top-notch academicians, have opportunity to bring up and prototype new ideas, guidance by industry professionals, investigations with new or latest technologies, visit new places, and also skills in new culture. So this certificate shows that our college has established IIC as per the norms of Innovation Cell, Ministry of Education during the academic year 2021. So students, to develop new ideas and to discover new ways of looking at problems and opportunities, to apply creative solutions to those problems and opportunities in order to enhance people's lives. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm glad to invite the coordinator of Health Club to give a brief description about our Health Club.
So good evening, everybody. I'm here to share a few words about our health club existing in the college. So this is a hierarchy of health club members. The sub-coordinator, Mrs. G. Sophie and Mrs. Anupriya. President, Ms. S. Deepika of second MSc Biochemistry. Vice President, Mrs. S. Ketan of third BSc Biochemistry. Secretary is V.V. Mahalakshmi of third BSc Biochemistry. And student coordinators are S. Kadarvel and T. Kumaravel, third BSc Biochemistry. The aim of the club is to instill awareness in students on aspects of personal health and overall well-being of an individual, to make students understand the factors that influence health and to promote choices that impact health of people on campus, in society, and to the wider community. The vision of the club is to impress upon our campus and community the importance of overall wellness pertaining to the physical, social, and mental well-being of the individual. Mission of the club is to instill an understanding of the importance of healthy lifestyle through health education programs and to spread the information in our campus and community about various emerging and prevailing diseases and their preventive measures, to impart an understanding of communicable and non-communicable diseases, to educate students on having balanced diet, simple home remedies for common ailments and choices for healthy living, and to celebrate official World Health Organization days. Activities planned are inauguration, doctors' talk and seminars on health and hygiene, awareness programs and medical checkup camps, workshop on physical fitness and healthy habits, debates, discussions, and poster making on topics pertaining to health and environment. Celebrating World Health Day, World Heart Day, World Antibiotic Awareness Week, World AIDS Day, and World Cancer Day, and valedictory, etc. This is the image which shows the inauguration of our health club. Awareness program was conducted by the health club about nutrition and general health. So a healthy lifestyle not only changes our body, it changes our mind, our attitude, and our mood. So nothing is more important than our good health. That's our principal capital asset. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I call upon R. Ketana from 3rd BSc Biochemistry to give introduction about our guest of honor, Mrs. Deepalakshmi Sriram.
Honorable Chief Guest, respected dignitaries, faculty, and my dear friends, good evening to one and all. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our Chief Guest for this webinar on innovation to create a healthy and sustainable food system. We are honored this evening by the presence of our Honorable Chief Guest, Mrs. Deepalakshmi Sriram, Pediatric and Neonatal Nutritionist, Smile Train, the Balaji Medical College and Hospital. Mrs. Deepalakshmi Sriram is a registered dietitian who has clinical exposure in all specialties from pediatrics to geriatrics, with a broad range of experience in designing individualized plans to health patients to achieve nutrition and weight loss goals, management of chronic conditions, enhances personal wellness, and incorporates practical nutrition applications, including enteral and parental nutrition support techniques. She is a certified diabetes educator and has hosted webinars for various organizations. She has attended Board of Studies meetings as a subject matter expert for colleges. She has also published many research articles in both reputed national and international journals. She is a panel member in Leadership Council and chief researcher in Institute of Child Development, Education, Research and Technology, and also in Unit of Child and Adolescent Foundation India. She is currently associated with Smile Train, Sri Balaji Medical College and Hospital as an pediatric and neonatal nutritionist. So without consuming time, I request Mrs. Deepalakshmi Sriram to enlighten the audience by her lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, Keetana. It's my pleasure to call our guest of honor, Deepalakshmi Sriram, pediatric and neonatal nutritionist, Smile Train, Sri Balaji Medical Hospitals and College. Ma'am?
Yes. Can you share my screen? Is it visible?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I would like to thank the management, and I would like to thank the Department of Biochemistry and the IIC Club, the Health Club, and the students for giving me this warm introduction. So let me just begin with the slides. Okay. So the topic that's given for today's webinar is innovation to create a healthy and sustainable food system. So before I begin this topic, I would like some of the students to have a small discussion about some of the terms like food system or sustainable or innovation. Can any of one just volunteer themselves and just tell what is a general term is? What do you mean by food system? It can be very simple as a layman term as well, or sustainable or innovation. Can anyone just tell me what is a food system? Anybody? Okay. So I'll just discuss some terms. So yeah, is anybody volunteering? Yes? No?
Food
Yeah.
system means it includes all process that involved in taking a food, ma'am. Food science.
Absolutely. Okay. Any other terms? Anything else? Any ideas?
We follow to eat to keep ourselves healthy.
Okay, that's good. Okay. And what about sustainable? Any ideas? What do you think is sustainable? You can keep it very simple terms. You don't have to tell definitions. What do you think is sustainable? What do you mean by sustainable? Anybody?
Which provide us nutrition in all the way.
Okay. But sustainable means, for example, let's say you have something with you. Okay. Sustainable something in your future also, the same product, whatever you have it now, it should be available. Okay. So sustainable, it refers to the period, like if a product is there, it should be there for a long period of time. You don't do something for a small time and you stop it. Okay. Something that's available or something that's been there for the future generation. That's called sustainable. Okay. And anything about innovation, like what do you think is innovation? Innovation is nothing but finding something new. It could be anything. Okay. So we're just gonna, if you know these terms, it'll be easy for you to understand in the upcoming slides, which is why I was bringing the layman terms. So as one of the member has said, it's absolutely correct. Food system is nothing but involves all the process that is included in the food, right from from the crop that is there, and then that has been processed, and then it gets transported, and then it goes to the retailer, then consuming us. So this is known as a food system. It is connected with the transport, supply chain, the resources that we use, the policies that's there, the culture. Okay, the food culture is also included within the food system. Okay, so just to make it very simple, from the production till the consumption, entire thing that takes place during this process is known as food system. Okay, and in this, even the policy, climatic condition, and the geographical location, everything will come under place. Okay, the energy that is utilized, the labor, the waste, everything will be included in this. So this is the known as food system. Now coming to the next term that you should know is supply chain. Supply chain is nothing but it's the process that is involved in the production in the commodity. Commodity could be anything like a rice or a wheat. Let's say you're preparing rice. The process that's involved from taking the rice from the paddy, then you go to the machinery, refining it, and then packaging it, then processing it. So that is like a supply chain for the rice product. Similarly, any process, anything related to food from the production and distribution is known as a supply chain, right from the supplier, right from the raw materials till the consumer. Okay. Now, another layman topic is going to be something simple as healthy food system. Healthy food system is nothing but, we were already discussing about food system, right? All the process that's involved in the food. So any food system which will promote in and optimize the health across individual and throughout your entire globally or meet community or anything, that is known as a healthy food system. So which will include food industry, public health and medicine, policies, the agriculture industries, right from individuals and even the community. Everything together is known as the healthy food system, or it could be healthy sustainable food system. Okay. Now we were talking about healthy food system. Sustainable food system is something, as I already told you, it should meet the current population needs without compromising the needs for the future generation. For example, as I told you, like you have a product that it should be available even for the future generation. As simple as that. Okay. So if you see, we'll just move on to the next slides. So it's basically talking about the food system. It has to deliver food security and nutrition. We will discuss the term what is food security. Has anybody heard of the term food security? Anybody? Have you heard the term food security?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can give a try. It's okay if you're wrong, no problem. Any ideas? Sorry, can you be a little louder? Okay. All right. Yeah. Anybody? Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, food security actually means availability of food at all times, at every condition, ma'am. Whatever be the condition, if you have the availability.
Okay, right. You're right. That's like one of the pillar. Okay. Food security is a term used when the four dimensions there. That is, you spoke absolutely right about availability. It's not just availability, the accessibility of the food. Okay. Then the stability of the food and the utilization. All these four is together is known as the food security, not just availability, right? But you're partially correct. Thanks. And so this is about, the sustainable food system, as I already told you, it should be there. The four terms should be there in such a way that you meet the economic, social, and environmental basis to make sure you meet the nutrition for the future generations are not compromised. This is a definition that's given by HLPE. Just for you guys to know, you can also find it out. Okay. Now, see, this sustainable thing, it's not just you or me do it. This is like a very global thing. You can't just do individual thing, but you can start. see, if you see, it is there right from the global, then you have the governmental, then you have the agricultural, then you have the community, then you have the social, cultural, and individual. Okay, let me just put it straight. Okay, imagine you are hungry, you're walking in a street. Okay, left side there's a chat shop, right side there's a fruit shop. Okay, now just tell me, anybody can tell me, which shop would you just go and eat? Can somebody tell me? Would you prefer a chat shop or would you go for a fruit shop?
Obviously, whoever looks at the chat shop, they prefer
Exactly.
shop.
Right.
Most of
Okay, that's true. Absolutely true. Okay. So, being in a city, we have access to the food, right? It's just that we are not buying fruits or vegetables that's available to us. That's number one. Okay. Number two, take the same scenario, but in a different place. Let's say in below poverty cases, or let's say there are unemployed people, they don't have money, but they have access to food, they don't have money, right? So this becomes the problem. See, we have the access, but we are not getting it. They might have, they don't have the access, they don't have the money to get it, right? So this is a problem. When you see it globally, when you see it as individual, you might think, what is this, how is this a problem? But I'll just tell you the facts so that you understand how big problem this is. Okay, so when you talk about globally, now we have import export, we have a lot of technologies. Okay, but still, in spite of having all the technologies, if you see, there are a lot of kids and a lot of adults who are still malnourished, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
ma'am.
why do you think there is malnutrition when you have a lot of food that's available in India?
Because of their poverty, ma'am.
Okay, the poverty, true. Okay, see, if you're there in a particular place, let's say you're taking, you're there in some place, local place in and around Tamil Nadu, where you have access to something that's special, or something where that's, you know, like let's say they're in somewhere in South India where they have access to rice that's locally available to them, or let's say they have some locally available vegetables or fruits that's there. Okay, do you think people can't consume it?
Ma'am, they consume it, ma'am, but other vegetables and proteins they can't able to consume, ma'am.
Okay, so do you think, okay, why do you think that way? See, proteins are also present in the dals and vegetables as well. Okay, so this, which is why I'm telling you, this is we were talking about individual people now, right? So you agree that there is malnutrition still taking place because they have lack of money or lack of access, right? Okay, now moving on to, this is the individual level. Okay, now say the cultural level. Okay, there'll be some kind of cultural norms or cultural race where they will not eat those kind of food. Okay, that has an impact. And talking about community, okay, how many people going to the movie eat popcorn every time? I guess everybody in the list, right? Okay, fine, let's ask you a question. Okay, now how many people go to the restaurant? Do you see something known as food label, or is there any place where they have given you that this much, this is what you eat, this much calories or proteins it provides? Is there anything like that? Someone? I'm trying to make this as you know, quick and easy for you guys to understand, so that it's better if you guys just talk, you know.
Yes.
Somebody? Yeah, yes, you're audible. Go ahead.
What's the question, ma'am?
No, what I'm asking you is, see, okay, fine, leave it. Never mind. Okay. I'll just tell you about the levels. So we were talking about individual level, we were talking about cultural level, we were talking about the restaurants. Yes, in the restaurants, how many people see any food labels, or how many people going to the supermarkets do you read food labels?
It's very rare, ma'am. Not all of them do.
Okay, why do you think we don't do it? Are we lazy to do it, or we don't know to do it?
That we don't know. Like most of the names, maybe the label.
That's true. Correct. Okay. So, okay. Now let's move on to the schools. Okay. So, what do you think in the schools or workplace? What do you think can be done, like food? Now we have a lot of ICDS schemes and all for, to provide meals for the kids because, for the low economic social status, they provide free food, like, with the high protein and etc. Doing for the school food, maybe in the government sector. Let's say for the private sector, what type of snacks the school enforces the children to take?
Sprouts.
Okay. Okay. And when, yes, what else?
Sprouts, veggies.
Okay. And
Maybe nowadays, most of the schools are trying to include healthy food into their system.
okay, good.
Most of the schools, like I don't want to mention,
Yeah.
some of the schools are telling children to bring sprouts, veggies to avoid bringing fried food, like non-veggies also.
Okay.
And even they are even they are asking them to bring aluminium. Sorry, it was like
Boxes.
Yes.
Okay, right. But you guys are saying, but when when I see a lot of people, not many schools, or I don't want to mention name, but they just take biscuits as snacks. Okay, biscuit are not healthy foods. They are also junk foods. Okay, people think biscuit dana enna agapodhu. That's the mentality it goes, but still, it is more like a junk food. Similarly, even fruit juice, when you overconsume it, that is also a junk food. You might think, why am I talking about all this? How is it even related to sustainable food system? But all of these impact the health. Okay, so when you're going to have a lot of junk food, or when you don't have a lot of healthy food, it affects your body in a way where you end up malnutrition. Okay, now we were talking about community side. Now moving on to the agricultural side, the farmers, they don't have access to the food as much as we have. Okay, so this, if you see this sustainable thing, it's like a very big problem. We cannot just correct it at individual level. You have to correct it at global level, governmental level, agricultural level, the community level, cultural level, and individual level. So just for you guys to give you an insight, I was just discussing all of these. So as we move on, we can have more discussion so that you guys can actually understand more about it. Right. So talking about innovation it's basically a term where even an individual and an organization, when they try to do something new, irrespective of whether they're new to the competitor or to the country or to the world. Okay, something very new. That is the term known as innovation. This definition was given by the Food and Agriculture Organization in the year 2014. Now, if you see innovation in the agricultural or any supply chain, right from the crop, right from the forestry to everything, we can have innovation. Like for example, as individuals, we can track our weight, we can track how much of distance they walk. Similarly, in the innovation in the agriculture, you can talk about crop rotation. We can actually educate farmers about what type of crops we can put at that particular time. And they can use of technology, you can actually monitor the growth of the vegetables or whatever the crops and do it accordingly. There are a lot of things. Okay, so you may think, why are we even talking about this? Is anything wrong with the food system, or what is happening in the current scenario? Can somebody just give me, why are we even discussing about all this? Yeah, somebody?
Because everyone is running.
Anyone?
Everyone is working, everyone is doing everything, but still they lack in their intake, the healthy kind of intake. Everyone is eating.
That's true.
But everyone is eating, but the question is, are we eating healthy? That's
correct. Okay. I'll just tell you some of the points, but you are absolutely correct, right? But we will just see on more about it so that you guys do understand exactly. Okay. So first one is malnutrition. Can just somebody tell me what is malnutrition in very quick term? Anybody?
Lacking in nutrition.
Okay. What do you think is malnutrition? Is it the thin underweight, or is it like the overweight obesity? What do you think is malnutrition? Or do you have any definition?
Ma'am, malnutrition means lack of sufficient nutrients in the body, ma'am.
Okay. No, just tell me, is it the underweight, those are very, very thin, and those you see with all the bones and etc., are they malnourished? Or those you see overweight obesity, are they malnourished?
Ma'am, both cases, some may be thin, ma'am, in the case of malnutrition.
Okay.
The obese people also can be malnutrition, ma'am, in certain nutrients, ma'am.
Okay. It's not certain nutrients. So, which is why I brought this thing. Okay. So people think it's only that underweight or overweight is malnutrition. No, there are a lot of things beyond what you think. Okay. Somebody told that, one of the member had told, student, I believe, has told about lack of nutrients. Okay. So the lack of nutrients can be macro as well as micronutrients. I'm pretty sure you would have guys had carbohydrate, protein, fat. All of these are known as macronutrients. Okay. Whereas the vitamins, minerals like iron, calcium, selenium, magnesium, all of these are micronutrients. Okay. So when there is a deficiency or excess in both of the macro and micronutrients, they are also part of malnutrition. Okay. So iron deficiency, a simple iron deficiency anemia is also known as malnutrition. Okay. Whereas undernutrition, I have given some terms like wasting, stunting, underweight. Have you heard of these terms, or do you want me to explain? Anybody?
Explain, ma'am.
Sure. Cool. Okay. So see, undernutrition is one, overnutrition is one, and the third part is micronutrient deficiencies. Okay. So wasting, stunting, underweight. There are three things. Okay. This is when the three things are there, they call it as undernutrition. Okay. Wasting is nothing but, let's say, there is a 5-year-old child. Okay. That 5-year-old child, a 5-month-old child should be 5 kgs, but for the child's age, the child is only 3 kgs. Okay, so which means the child for that particular age, the weight is low, you call it wasted. Do you get it, or do you want me to explain it again?
Get it, ma'am.
Okay, I'll just tell it once more. So let's say there is a 5-month-old child which should weigh 5 kgs, but the child is weighing only 3 kgs. It's less than the weight that the child should be for the particular age. So when the weight is below for that particular weight, you call it as wasting. Okay, this is for the weight aspect. The same thing, let's say the same 5-month-old child, the height is less than the recommended standard one. Let's say the 5-month-old child should be some 55 centimeters, but the child is only like 40 centimeters. Okay, so when there is a reduction in the height, you call it as stunting. Okay, and underweight is when the weight and the height for the particular child is less, you call it underweight. Okay, if you have doubts, you can definitely ask me. I'll help you out in understanding it. So this wasting, stunting, and underweight, you can see it in under 5 children. Above 5 years old, you generally look for the BMI. In the BMI, you cannot actually find out whether the child is wasting or underweight or stunting, but you can only tell whether the individual is malnourished or normal or overweight. Okay, so that is about undernutrition. And there's something known as hidden hunger. Hidden hunger, if you see, let's say, if somebody lost weight, means you can easily see with the dresses or the wear that in the cloth or something. Similarly, if somebody has gained weight and when they're obese or overweight, you can see, you can identify. Whereas any deficiencies with micronutrients, typically vitamins and minerals, when the deficit in it, you cannot see a sign immediately. Okay, it takes a lot of months to show the visible signs that you can see. I'm pretty sure you guys would have studied about marasmus, kwashiorkor, and all that. You can see this belly thing, pot belly, and have you guys studied about it? Do you guys know about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. So these micronutrient deficiencies cannot be seen. It takes a long period to show the results, like visibly. Okay. So this is known as hidden hunger because you cannot see it. Okay. This is also known as malnutrition. It's not just underweight or overweight, but this micronutrient deficiencies. Okay. So this is about malnutrition. And you may think, why is obesity or overweight is going to cause a problem? You see a term called NCDs. NCDs are nothing but non-communicable diseases. That is, it will not get transferred if I touch you or you touch me. Okay. So what happens is, the obesity and overweight, it leads to a lot of problems like cardiovascular disease. See, nowadays, you will hear any about, be it your relatives or be it your family, friends or something, you might hear anybody saying heart attack or stroke, or they'll be on dialysis, or blood sugar, diabetes. The same thing, have you heard 20 years back or 30 years back? Have you guys heard? Or when you were kids, did you guys notice anything like that? Someone?
No, ma'am.
Why do you think it's rising up?
Because it's
Ma'am, due to the changing lifestyle, ma'am.
everything is changing, no, ma'am.
Right, everything is changing. Correct. See, now it's like extremely like the scenario is becoming too bad that we want food. At least we would go to a restaurant, we would walk and go. But now, if you see, I'm talking in a negative way, not in a positive way. In a negative way, if you see, you order something, the next in 10 to 15 minutes or maybe in a half an hour, you get the things. In a good way, it's good that technology is developed so good. But the problem is, earlier we used to walk and you used to travel, but nowadays you don't go, right? At least when you go for a restaurant, you would walk and go, take the stairs and go sit there, talk, all of it. But in this kind of typical technology being used, you get anything at your doorstep. So you're not walking anywhere. So when you're not walking anywhere, you're not doing any physical activity, right? So in that way, this will also cause a problem in gaining weight. So try using staircases, not taking much of elevators would also reduce your physical activity. So if it's going to be somewhere near, if you're going to go to a shop or buy something, try to go outside, like go walk. I mean, I'm not asking you to walk for a very long time. Maybe some small shop that is there, like for from 500 meters, you can always go and walk and get it. See, when you go walk, it's online world it's going to be way different. But when you're talking about an offline world, you get to explore things. You get to go meet people. I know it's difficult in this COVID scenario, but with the protection, yes, you can go meet people out. You can at least see what is there in the market. When you go to a supermarket, you can definitely look what are the new products it's there. It will definitely help you in the future. So try in some ways you can try going for offline shopping, so get things when you want by yourself rather than going for an online shopping. Maybe in case of emergency or when you cannot do it, you can definitely go for it. I'm not against online shopping, but I'm just giving my opinion in terms of physical activity alone, right? So now this is basically a WHO is World Health Organization's fact sheets that 1.9 billion adults are overweight globally and 462 million are underweight. Okay. And 2020, they found that 149 million children under 5 years were estimated to be stunted. Stunted is, the less height for age, and 45 million were estimated to be wasted. That is too thin for height, and 38.9 million were overweight or obese. So when there is malnutrition, it will definitely cause death. So this, if you see, it is mostly seen, the children below 5 years. You can find out in a lot in low and middle income countries. They call it LMIC and MIC countries. At the same time, the childhood obesity is also rising, which is why this is a very big problem which we'll have to undertake. Now, has anybody have you guys come across the term sustainable development? Anybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Can somebody just tell me, like, just in simple words, probably 1 or 2 words? okay. You can just give a try. Nothing wrong.
It's like to end poverty to develop a nation.
Okay. Right. That's one of the things. See, basically, see, I was just telling about malnutrition, right? This is a global problem. Similarly, there are a lot of problems which the United Nations, they wanted to bring change in the world. So they had like 17 different goals, or this is something that they wanted to achieve. They had made this up in 2015, and they wanted all these 17 goals to be achieved by 2030. These goals are known as sustainable development goals. Okay, so in this thing, the goal number 2 is zero hunger. So why do you think zero hunger? Why do you think they have termed something? Why is this a big problem, zero hunger? Any thoughts, anybody?
Not everyone is getting food, ma'am.
Right, right.
Even during COVID, most of them were hungry. Most of them underwent like starvation. Not everyone had Swiggy and Zomato waiting for them.
Zomato, right. You are absolutely right. See, even at this moment, there are a lot of people who don't have access to food and they are hungry. Hunger, when they don't have food, it is a very, very huge problem, where they even, hunger without having food, it can even lead to death. Okay, which is not a good sign at all. So which is why this is also a big problem when you're talking about all the sustainable food system. We should try to eradicate hunger, which is why the second goal is zero hunger. Similarly, they have made for poverty, they want to educate the hygiene part and etc. as were other goals. Now I thought this was relevant to our thing, so I was just talking about the sustainable development, about zero hunger, right? So now I was talking about food security, right? We were talking about 4 topics I asked you in the starting of availability, access, utilization, stability. Food. So we were talking about food security. Now let's say, what is food insecurity? See, basically, when one person does not have food for the normal growth, for the normal human body process, they're known as food insecure. They don't have access to the food due to availability, access, utilization, or stability. Okay. So this could be because of the lack of resources, maybe lack of money or lack of employment or no access of food, or maybe they might be lazy to get it. All of these are known as food insecurity. The biggest aim for creating a good sustainable food system is to make sure that the food reaches everybody, every individual. Nobody should be left out. It is not good, even though India has got such a big export, import, largest in food production, everything. There are still people going hungry. There's still people dying because of lack of food. So which is why this is a very big problem. Okay. Now, this is just a framework to understand why is food insecurity, why are we talking about, how it is going to relate with disease and health. Okay, so food security, when it causes, the reason why we are causing the food security is when there is a decreased household income. Let's say they are hardly getting some 5,000 or 2,000 rupees, and in the market, we don't, everything is very much costly. So because of that, they don't have access to the food. And spending trade-offs, the cost, the expenditure is very much high, and we use a lot for import export, and that is one of a problem. Apart from that, even the healthcare expenditure, even the smallest thing, you go for hospital, the expenditures are very much costly. If you wanted to get treated in a very good place, you have to pay a lot of money for that. So when they are sick, they'll be using their income for this health process, but not for the food. And unemployment, there are still unemployment happening in this world. Even though there are a lot of things that's happening. See, unemployment can also lead to food insecurity. And apart from that, there are a lot of coping strategies. What can be done is eating behaviors, and the dietary quality is reduced. So because of which it will lead it to chronic disease, and it causes stress. So this is how the food insecurity and chronic disease is being it goes on like this way. Right. So I'll just give you a small thing. what is supposed to happen. See, in the food system, we are producing the food. There is processing that takes place. There's packaging the food. We are distributing the food, and it goes to the retailer by transport, and we consume it. And according to our customs, you prepare it in the same sambar rice in a different method. In our house, they might prepare in a different method. Like, I'm just giving an example. So we are doing the food system activity, but what do you think it should lead to over a period of time? It's food security. As I told you, we were discussing about this food utilization, the access and availability. So over a period of time, our actual outcome is to make sure that the food safety is there. That is, whatever the food that you're going to consume, it should be free of contamination, not much of adulterants are being used, and it should be given a value, and it should also have a nutritional value. Because if you're going to eat something that does it have any nutrition, there's no point in eating it, right? So which is why you should have the food utilization. And talking about the access, the affordability, the allocation, the preference, and the food availability. So there are people living even in the mountain regions. Okay, they might not get access to what food we are having right now. So they might get access to the foods that's living in the hill stations, right? So we have to make sure that the production is there, the distribution, the exchange is taking place, so that both the social welfare and the environmental welfare is better. Talk about social welfare, the income, the employment, the wealth, the social capital, the political capital, human capital. You might think, why am I talking about social things and all? See, for every single thing, let's say a single crop that you're going to make, it has to get, it has to process. For every process, we need people, we need resources. So we can actually do a change by giving work over there. No laborers, not just laborers, daily wages, everybody will be working over there for even a smallest thing. You might think, okay, now we are getting food just like that, but every single rice that you're eating now, it is processed and it's transported to places, and that's how you're getting it to your food. So you see, you can actually, if we try to change our policies and etc., we can actually make this in a very good way. And talking about environmental, that our entire ecosystem will be good, and that will have an impact on the environmental welfare. We will no more, like, if everything goes well, we will no more have poverty, or we will no more have malnutrition. Will all be like cut, will be like done. We will not see it in India or any place that's been followed up. So which is why we will need to do this change. Now we were talking about all this. Now coming to the dietary patterns. Why is everybody talking about diet? See, diet is not just people say when somebody is not eating, they just ask are you on diet? But diet is a wrong term. That is not the term that is used for it. Diet is a very therapeutic meal where it is used for treating conditions or treating basic things. Okay, it's not that you eat something less, you're on diet. That should not be the way. I don't know who started it, but it has been used in a wrong way. So you should never use, if somebody's eating less, you should never ask that are you on a diet. That is wrong, totally wrong, right? So this is, I got this from a study that has been followed. Typically, let's say during the COVID scenario, we did not have access. We were, in this lockdown period, we might not get access. We may even feel lazy to cook, and we were eating a lot of junk foods, right? This, okay, COVID scenario, maybe due to the lack of access of food, we can at least understand. But this study was done in a school where a lot of students, they were checking the food recall method, like how much the consumption is. That recall method is just like how much they eat, the quantity or something. They were just doing a study. So from that study, what they found was that the children, they had very, the amount that they had of fruit, vegetable or dairy, whole grains, beans and legumes was very less than the recommended portion. Let's say 50% they should take of fruits, vegetables or dairy products. They were taking less than that. But if you see, they have consumed more of meat, sodium like a typical salt, saturated fat, refined grains, and hydrogenated fats and added sugars. This, it was like very, very, most children, they like to have a lot of junk food because because they think it's tasty, it's good for them, and etc. That's not the way it should be. So because of these dietary patterns, it is causing a lot of health issues that they might not know. The children having eating a lot of junk food will lead to child obesity, and when they become an adult, they will be already be having a lot of diseases like small diseases like diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease and etc. Which is why having a good and a well balanced diet is very, very important. See, so general emphasis has to be done on more fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables, you don't have to specifically have avocados and kiwis. Whatever is available to yourself, to your local market, you can definitely consume it. There's nothing like this fruit is bad, that fruit is good, nothing like that. Whatever fruits that is available to you, you can definitely have. Guavas is very good, and it's very much better than what you get like in avocados or apples. Okay, so try to go for seasonal fruits, whatever is available there. In the mango season, have mango. In the watermelon season, have watermelon. There's nothing like you should only choose the fruits that are very much costly, go to the supermarkets and eat. Not like that. So we have to have an emphasis on fruits or vegetables that's available locally. And next, whole grain foods. See, anything that we are eating now is like processed. Okay, so try to make sure that you have whole grain foods. See, when you buy labels, you see refined in the labels. Okay, I'll teach you about it. Refined means, let's say you are having this rice. Okay, you're taking it from the paddy. Okay, the rice, you have an outer layer. Okay, they call it as a hull. Okay, when you're talking about refined means they are cutting off the hull in the rice and it has been processed where the nutrients, the micronutrients like thiamine, B vitamins are lost, and when they are doing this, there are loss of fiber, and which is why you're getting it, the rice color is white. Okay, that is itself is a refined. They would have mentioned refined or double refined. All of these are processed foods. Okay, so you go for whole grain foods without refining. There are products that's available in the market, which is why it is very good for you guys to read labels so that you understand what foods are there, so that you can have a healthy choices of food. Now, coming to healthy source of proteins, fish and legumes. So it's not that proteins are available only in non-vegetarian. Okay, there are proteins available in the vegetarian. Take it beans, you take drumstick, you take legumes, you take nuts, you take dals, all this rajma. All of these also contain proteins. It's not that vegetarian is good, non-vegetarian is bad. See, it depends on the culture, the food system that is being followed in the family. It's not that this is good, that is bad. When you can balance your food in whatever food that you're going to take, there's no problem. And you see in a street, there are some 10 to 5 shops there where they sell fried rice. The same thing you take 10 years back, do you see a lot of people or a lot of shops having fried fruits or chicken fried rice or people making noises and all that? Do you see that? No. But these days we tend to we want everything instant. The word instant is becoming very famous. Instant noodles, instant parotas, instant food, instant maggies. Anything you get in instant is not good. Okay, it is okay to take time for you to cook and have the food rather than going for instant foods. Okay, instant foods are not good. You don't get anything in an instant, right? If you get something in an instant, you don't know the value of it. So you have to go for foods that you prepare rather than going for instant foods that's available in the market. Instant, it can be utilized in case of emergencies or there is a use for it. It's not that we are I know we are running behind it, but we have to start spending time for ourselves. Self-care, self thing is very, very important. Okay, you have to take care of yourself. Nobody else will take care of you, which is why I mean talking about all of these. And you can go for any oils. Okay, it's not that olive oil is good, canola oil is bad, soybean oil is good, groundnut oil is bad. Any oil, if you use it in moderation, it's well and good. So we'll have to emphasize on this and try to avoid foods that is there in high in salt. See, it's not that only sodium chloride, the common salt only has salt. anything that you process, your burger, your pizzas, your sauces, your ketchups, when you read the labels, you'll be shocked to know how much of salt is there. Apart from that, all these Coke, Fanta, Pepsi, all of these, they are empty calories. It's nothing but just, it is not good. But why do you think it's still in the market? Why do you think people are consuming it? Is it because they don't know that it's bad? No, it's because they want to try. They're like, okay, we live only once. What's the point in not eating it? But all of this over a period of time will have an effect on health issue. All right. So we live in a critical moment when it is clear that the humanity must take immediate steps to ensure that the food system that we use today, tomorrow, and the future are sustainable, which is why we've been discussing about all this. This was given by the Food and Agriculture Organization 2012. Now, we were just talking about this is a small brief to understand about it. So the society, the socioeconomic factors, the cultural and the regional aspects will have an effect on the climate change, and that will, the governments, the policies that put on food, and the food system, the production, the handling, processing, the food nutrition, health being, everything together is a part of this. Okay. Another thing, how many of you people have seen the new advertisement for Gold Winner oil? Has anybody seen the oil? Gold Winner advertisement? Anybody? Guys?
Ma'am, what, ma'am?
Has anybody seen the new advertisement for the Gold Winner oils? Or the sunflower oil? Anybody have seen any advertisements for oils?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what have you seen in this advertisement?
It contains vitamin D.
Ma'am, in Gold Winner, it is rich in vitamin D, tocopherol, etc. They will say, ma'am.
They will say, right. Okay, so the reason why vitamin D, why do you think vitamin D was included in oil? Why? You can just tell me whatever you think. Doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. Try. Anybody? Come on, guys. Say something. Why do you think vitamin D was added to oil? Anyone?
Ma'am, to keep their brand differ from others.
Okay. See, if that's the case, everybody would start doing it. No? Why do you think if that's the case, they should have a justification of why they did that, right? You can't just say it's a food product. Just like that, you cannot add a nutrient to the food and, say that, just for the sake of brand, there's still more. But it's a good try. You can think about. Or, okay. Why do you think the salt was iodized? Or why do you think the addition of iodine was done for the salt? Can somebody tell me? Guys, have you guys seen the term iodized salt in every Tata salt or any salt that you buy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, why do you think what do you mean by the term iodized salt?
Ma'am, can I try? It's a fortified salt, ma'am.
Okay, yes, absolutely right. Why do you think it has been done?
Basically, maybe one concept could be because the thyroid gland gets affected. Okay, so people who stay away from the seasides, right, or the shore areas, they may have very low iodine contents in the, in the crops grown or whatever food they consume. So it could be a replacement for that from an health concept.
Okay, that's correct. So, the reason why, the vitamin D was fortified in the oil is, number one, now everybody is staying inside. You don't get access to vitamin D. There is lot of deficiencies of vitamin D that is seen commonly, and it's becoming a big problem. Vitamin D, it's not just what you learned as rickets, but apart from that, your bone health, you call it as, osteoporosis. There are some of the terms that's used when there is a decreased bone mineral density in the bone, which even if they fall, they get a fracture, or the bones become very fragile. So which is why they started adding vitamin D in the oils, because and most of the diets there is lack of vitamin D. That was the reason they started targeting. It's not just for the sake of branding, but it was for the overall health as well. Okay, now talking about the iodized salt, why it was done is because most of the hilly regions, people living in the hilly mountain regions, they did not get much of access. There was a deficit in iodine, and which is why they started made a policy to do a universal addition of iodine in our salt. See, the iodine will not be added so much that it will cause affect everybody else in the population, but when they add it in such a way, it was for the beneficial for the entire country. That is why they did this. Similarly, we can also start doing these things. The policies can be done at the national level or at the government level for these kind of problems as well. So which is why I brought you that as an example. So we can also focus in such a ways that can also be done. The global transformation is very much needed, and that, like just I said, addition of vitamin D to oil, there are still in India, prevalent in India. There was a recent study called Global Nutrition Report. You guys, if you want, I can just send you the report. It's called GNR study. That was, the research from that, which was found, was 50% of the people in India are still anemic. Why do you think anemia is a problem? So, in spite nowadays, you are getting the rice that they're eating now, they're double fortified with iron and with vitamin A, because the deficit is happening. But still, no matter what we do, no matter how much the diet or how much of emphasis is being done, as I already told you, because of the food insecurity or a lot of hookworm infestations, it results in a lot of issues like this, anemias. And anemia is not a very small problem; it's a very huge problem. Okay, and if you see, the lot of mothers who deliver children when they are just 18 or 19 years old, they themselves are a kid, and when they deliver a small child, the small child is like vulnerable, and when there's a nutrition is not be given proper, the child will die. So this is how the life cycle is becoming so bad that there are a lot of death and early marriages. All of these are also part of sustainable development thing. So we have to focus on a lot of things apart from this, right? So basically, I'll just give you a very small thing. So we'll have to make sure that whatever the food system, it should be culturally adapted. That is, it should be respectable for all the culture and the traditions that they follow, and it should have a social equity. That is, even for the farmers, there should be decent wages for the workers in the food system. It's not that all the white collar jobs get paid more, and those who are actually working hard for us for the food, that's not that they get paid less. Okay, there should be a social equity. That is, the wages should be much better, so that you can they have employment and they have money for the food. And there should be an environmental sustainability. That is agro biodiversity. Biodiversity is, let's say in the northern India, they have more wheat. Southern India, they have more rice. So, but it's not like that only South India people eat more rice and North India people eat more wheat. No, we are India. In India, if you see, there are a lot of traditions, a lot of culturals, and a lot of biodiversity. Okay, so we'll have to make sure that we can have a lot of biodiversity. At the same time, we have to make sure that we don't discourage or we don't blame others or hurt other cultures by not eating the food, or that's not the right way to do it. And soil erosion, deforestation, all of these do affect the climate, and which will have an impact on the food production as well. So the soil has to be well protected. The erosion, all of it should be stopped. the deforestation, and we have to plan on doing more afforestation. And the GHG, the greenhouse gases emission should be lowered. You know, there was a study that was done in 2019. There was so much of emission, the pollution that took place in Delhi. I am pretty sure you guys have seen those articles. If not, I will just share it to you. And we'll have to minimize the use of fossils. The fossils, we have to stop using fossils and look for other alternatives, renewable energy sources like solar system. Now, if you see, you would have guys seen solar cells are becoming very famous, and a lot of people try to be eco-friendly and etc. And apart from this, there should be a diverse diets that's affordable to everybody. And we have to reduce the consumption of the processed foods, and we have to support small scale businesses and the rural development, which will help the lower economy and the other sector as well. And the last thing is you'll have to avoid externalities. That is, see, one side there is more production, one side the demand is there. So demand versus production. Okay, there should not be over production dumping at the food. There are a lot of wastage that takes place, the food wastage. So if we can minimize the food wastage, and wherever there's demand, we can produce and provide the food. So if we can do all of these things, and if you see the one beyond the food system, when we can cover all of these, we can actually have a good, healthy, and sustainable system. So why do you think? So for this, what can be done is, if we have to do a lot of innovation to address the current problems like what I said, and we can address this multi-dimension, be it agriculture you can take, nutrition you can take, and it is beyond food safety and nutrition, which means we have to work together in different disciplines and different types of knowledge, and we have to start doing a participatory approach. We would like people to participate, rather than just just telling somebody and not following it. It will not happen, which is why the supply and the demand is very important. We have to give supply to the people who are not getting access, and demand, maybe it can be little less. And the choice of the food, if you're not making a proper choice, that can also lead to food waste. So overall, if you see this, we can work on a sustainable food system in multi levels, but we as individual can do support small systems, learning together, preserving the land, decreasing the pollution, all of the small things that we can do, like eating the local foods. You can educate your neighbors about all of this. So when you take all of these, we can definitely try to bring a change in the sustainable food system at an individual level, right? Any doubts, anybody? Anything you want to ask me? No, ma'am. I would like to thank you guys for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody, for this.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a nice presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I have 2 questions. Can I go?
Sure, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure.
I had actually read, you can say, an article about extra virgin olive oil, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
And now there is a kind of a feature about it which says it can cure multiple diseases. Okay.
Okay.
And one among that, which is very questionable to me, is Alzheimer's disease, ma'am.
Okay.
One which can treat heart disease. It has anti-inflammatory properties. It's acceptable. Right. How can it actually cure or treat Alzheimer's disease? That is one doubt, ma'am. And one question I have. Yes. Is sugar really a problem, ma'am? Is it really a health hazard?
Can you come again? The second question?
Sugar.
Okay, sugar.
Forms of sugar, are they a health hazard, ma'am? Because since of late, like anything that is white or anything that is sugar-based, they say it is more carcinogenic in nature. So they are asking us to avoid it. Is that so? Is there any validation behind it being a carcinogenic compound or something like that? Yeah,
I'll just talk about it. So before, see, now you get a lot of products, like you said, extra virgin olive oil. There are a lot of claims that they do it on the product. Let's say a typical example, like a Horlicks, they say when kids who drink that, they become taller, they become sharper, they become stronger. These are something known as health claims that they provide on the food, which is why we'll have to educate the population, educate the students, educate the community to read the labels, to understand whether is it really a claim or is it true or not. Okay.
Yeah.
See, for the sake of marketing, they use a lot of health claims. Some may be true, some may not be true. Okay, so we should never be we should not be blind by the claims that they do, right? Okay, even now you would have I'm pretty sure you guys would have seen this. Okay, there's a lot of vegetable oils like sunflower oil has 0% cholesterol. That's how they advertise it. But if I say the cholesterol, it's found only in the animals or the mammals. Okay, in plants you don't have cholesterol, you have only phytosterol. But the way they advertise it to you is like it is 0% cholesterol. That's not right. Okay, so never believe those claims, which is why you should always read the food labels. Okay, there's nothing like this oil is good, that oil is bad, ma'am. Basically, any oil that you use it in moderation, it's well and good. Okay, so you can use traditional oils like coconut oil can be used, or mixture of oils can be used. It's not that this oil is good, groundnut oil is good. Maybe for if you're making some dosa or something, you can use one oil. Maybe if you're using for some column or something, you can use something like an alene or something like that. There's no harm in using this oil or that oil. One of a similar thing is salt. Now you see a lot of pink salt, Himalayan salt, red salt, dark salt. There are a lot of things. Okay, it's well and good when you use a normal salt that is available to you.
So sorry, ma'am, to interrupt. Because why I'm asking is I'm not convinced with the fact that it can possibly treat Alzheimer's disease. If it's actually a treatable component, it can, if it is suggested as a treatable component, what is there in that extra virgin olive oil that actually has a treatment power for Alzheimer's disease? Because
as I already told you, they just claim to say that maybe one kind of a reason is like generally omega-3 fatty acids, they say. Okay, it helps in the brain cells, and it is like it transport the fat generally transports the triple B, they call it as a brain barrier access. Okay, so maybe that could be a reason for saying Alzheimer's disease. But there is a need for a lot of scientific recommendations to say this is correct, this is not. Just like that, we don't follow anything.
Okay.
Okay, and the second question you were asking about white. Okay, so the sugars that we eat are definitely refined. It's not like how we get. But whereas when you see a jaggery or now you have seen a lot of organic farming, pannavellam, all of these are very much good. It's not that you have to stick on sugar. Maybe we can start reducing the consumption of sugars, and there are still studies going on to say whether sugars consumption linked to carcinogenic. They're still going on, but it is recommended to use not much of sugars in the diet generally. Like even if you're going to take some fruit juices, I was telling in this beginning of the presentation, fruit juices are not good. The reason is if you go to any fruit shop, they would just peel the outer layer. They don't put the inner layer of the fruit. I mean the outer layer of the fruit. Okay, the outer layer of the fruit is where you get a lot of fiber. When the fiber is removed and when they add any kind of water, we don't know what water they're going to add. Sometimes water, it can be the best source of infection, and plus they're going to add a lot of sugar. So it's going to be just like a watery drink. It's very much equal to a very bad drink like a Coke or a Pepsi. It's not very good when you consume over a period of time. If you ask me, I would suggest you to go for an original form of food that is there rather than going for fruit juice. Once in a while, fruit juice consumption is not good. But there's a study that was done in USA that there were a lot of children having recurrent fruit juices, and they in America they have considered fruit juice as a junk food itself.
Yes.
So which is why, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
As you said, we should consume also the outer peel. But for example, if we keep apples, the peel has wax, no, ma'am. How can we consume that if in the case of
you can do sterilization, like you can just immerse in a boiling water. You can just immerse apple and you take it out. Okay, that will help in such a ways. And there are apples growing in organic farm. You can get that as well and eat. Okay, so try not to take the outer layers much. And another example I can give you is many people think they like what you said, the oils have the extra virgin oils help in treating Alzheimer's. Similarly, people say drinking green tea will help in weight loss. Do anybody even think what is green tea? Can just somebody tell me what is green tea, or how is it made or prepared? Okay, I'll just
without
yeah.
milk.
Yeah, without milk. Tell me, what is the color of the green tea?
We like green, like light green.
Light green. Okay. Okay, I'll just ask you a question. Okay. If you're going to take any leaf, okay, you're going to pluck it, you're going to keep it outside. What will be the color of the leaf?
Brown, ma'am.
Right. Okay, if you're going to use the natural tea leaves, what color it should be?
Ma'am?
Green.
Okay. See, okay. See, we are using the tea leaves, right? To prepare it, right? We are taking it from the plant, right? It's going to be there for some time, right? So when you're going to prepare, it should be in brown in color. No, why is it green in color?
Just because that it has
contains many phytochemicals.
Okay. No,
Antioxidants.
not really. I'll just tell you. Okay. Okay. Now we are having apples, right? When you cut apples, it becomes brown inside, right? In some time, right? There's an oxidation reaction, which is why it turns brown, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Similarly, what happens is, for the sake of selling green tea, what they do in the industry, in the tea industry, is, if you see, they do not allow the leaves to get oxidized, and they try to keep the green color intact. They're not oxidized. Only if they're oxidized, you get the reaction of changing the leaf to brown color. Okay, they stop all the enzymatic conversions using chemicals. Okay, right? And do not falsely believe that drinking green tea helps in weight loss. It is not good. Green tea is, tea is very much equivalent to coffee. Okay, it's not that coffee is bad and tea is good. No, both tea and coffee, they contain caffeine. Okay, so never think that green tea helps in weight loss, or do not. That's why I'm telling you, please read food labels. When only if you read, you know what is happening in it, you know what is there in it. So which is why I brought one of this example as a green tea. Okay, so please do not just falsely understand that have this, it's good for health. Do not do it. Always question. You have every right as a consumer to question every food that you want. You can even question me. You have every right to question me. You have every right to question. There's no wrong in question. Only if you start questioning, you will know what is happening. There's no wrong in asking something that you don't know. So please, one last thing that I would like to say is, please ask questions. Ask questions that you don't understand. So I believe that at least if you guys would understood and implement something in your lives, it will be very, very helpful for me. I would like to thank you guys. Any questions apart from this?
No, ma'am.
Do you guys want to discuss about any doubts or anything?
No, ma'am. I think can we end the session, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. We can.
Thank you for the informative session, ma'am. Revati N from 3rd BSc Biochemistry is here to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening to one and all. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks in this webinar. Let me start by giving glory to the Almighty for making this occasion a resounding success. I extend sincere thanks to our chairman, Dr. K. Vasudevan, Prince Group of I extend sincere thanks to our chairman, Dr. K. Vasudevan, Prince Group of Institution, a man of simplicity who is the pillar of many educational institutions. I express my deep gratitude to our Vice Chairman, Dr. V. Vishnu Karthik, who always extends his support to us. I take immense pleasure in thanking our Vice Chairman, Engineer V. Prasanna Venkatesh, who always guide us and preparing us to face all the challenges of life with a positive attitude. I submit my heartfelt thanks to our principal, Dr. M. Uma, for her solid support and timely monitoring in every aspect as years passes by. I would like to thank our resource person, Mrs. Deepalakshmi Sriram, pediatric and neonatal nutritionist, Smile Train, Sri Balaji Medical College Hospital. Thank you, ma'am. I extend my warm thanks to Dr. P. Jasmine Lena, Head Department of Biochemistry, who always stand with us, guide us, lead us, and motivate us. Thank you, ma'am. Last but not least, I also extend my warm thanks to faculty members and fellow students for their kind cooperation and support. Thank you.
Participants are now requested to switch on the video for photo session. Kindly everyone switch on the video.
Have you taken mark?
No, ma'am. Some people haven't even switched on the video.
Switch on your video,
Everyone's-
Swan. Have you taken it, Swan?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. It was really nice. Thanks for taking a lot of pain to prepare.
I hereby like to conclude by saying your diet is a bank account. Good food choices are the good investment. Fill your plate with colors of rainbows. Thank you all for your cooperation and support. National Anthem by Hein Frida.
National Anthem. जनगण मन हरिदायक जय ही भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जल शिशरंगा तब शुभ नामी जागी तब शुभ आशीष मांगी दाही दबशय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय ही भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, one and all.